Hi, and welcome to the Unknown Secrets of SEO podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back, and guess what? It's 9:15 Central Standard Time.
Woohoo! Give or take eWeb style time.
And I don't expect this next week.
Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you reminded me, or maybe you were just saying it.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that. Actually, I forgot.
Next Friday, I'm going to be in court. Don't worry, it's just a traffic ticket. So we're going to do our podcast on Thursday morning. So if you're going to tune in for the video cast Thursday morning, I'll put something out on Ustream so that to kind of warn our listeners, of which it looks like we have at least one today. Thank you for watching. Maybe it's Darren Bowie. Maybe it's whoever you are. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate everybody. You are listening to the most popular SEO podcast on iTunes. You're watching the most popular SEO podcast on Ustream.
Oh, so you're probably watching the biggest, baddest, best one.
The biggest, baddest, best SEO podcast in perpetuity.
There you go.
I like that. That was good. Somebody should write that down later. As usual, we like to cover what we covered on the last podcast. Last podcast, we talked about pay-per-click. This is an SEO podcast. Why would we talk about Paul? Why would we talk about pay-per-click?
How about it works?
It works. It's part of an overall internet marketing campaign, and basically we said, look, a lot of the proposals that are going out of our office right now are heavily weighted towards, just because of the budget, the pay-per-click budget, are heavily weighted in dollars towards pay-per-click. So we felt it's something that we need to talk about on our podcast. Yes, we're doing SEO for those clients. Yes, we're kicking butt, and we're also doing some really novel and excellent things with our pay-per-click campaigns. So if you had any questions about whether we handle both, absolutely, we do handle both, and there's a lot of advantage. You can imagine, if it's worth being on the first page, isn't it worth being on the first page twice?
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
I'll take as many. How about 3 times? With the maps.
Yeah.
I'll take as many as I can get.
With the maps and then the actual listing, you know how they'll give they kind of have like a site map.
Yeah.
So you got local places, and we're going to be talking about local places because we noticed some
weird stuff came up. Let me reiterate to everybody, if you're just now joining into the podcast, go back and listen to last podcast, which was...
last podcast was 67.
67. It was a great podcast. When we started doing the podcast, was not a big PPC person, and I have since my eyes have been open to pay-per-click, and now it's a great way to market, so go back and listen to that podcast. I feel like it was an awesome podcast. I learned a lot. I think you guys will too.
Frankly, there are some things that you can do with pay-per-click that you cannot do with SEO. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, hey, we've got a listener in St. Croix.
Really?
Yeah, we got a listener in St. Croix.
That's what's up.
That is what's up.
St. Croix.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening in St. Croix, send us a picture. Oh, crap. And Darren, I meant to send you some pictures like months ago.
When you sent an email that we were going to answer with you,
God,
Darren, we're falling behind on that.
Dog.
Although we did notice. Did you go to the Facebook page? I sent you. I said, hey, go look.
I did. I forgot what was there,
He
though.
accepted the challenge.
The challenge. That's right.
So in the last podcast, we put together a little, I don't even know how to, animated, Paul's wearing a bird hat.
House. Oh my!
I'm wearing like Princess Leia speakers.
Speaker ears.
Speaker ears. So we put our podcast, the transcript of our podcast, into a little video. You can find that. Hey, while we're talking about finding us, you can find that at facebook.com/ewebstyle. You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/ewebstyle. You can email us, podcast@e-webstyle.com. You can find our YouTube page, e-webstyle.com/YouTube. YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? Very good. Yeah, so Darren has accepted the challenge. We kind of, in the last podcast, challenged him to do better. He's done some amazing stuff for us. Just kind of as a faithful listener, I guess. We really appreciate that in Darren. A little bit of news.
St. Croix. Oh, St. Croix.
Yeah, St. Croix. Send a picture.
Oh, I thought that was a review from St. Croix.
Oh, no.
That's right.
We got an email from somebody, I know you saw it, who said they submitted I don't remember if you know who it is. Maybe the email came to me. Anyway, they're looking for an SEO analysis. They've been listening to the podcast for a while.
Oh, yeah.
They submitted an iTunes review and I don't know which one it is, so I don't know.
And that I did get that email, and I am a little behind on the analysis, guys. You will get it though. I think I've got like 4 to do. Don't worry, you will get it. They are still free. You will get it. We have been busy, so it's kind of had to put that on the back burner for a little bit. But everyone that submitted one will get an analysis.
Excellent. I only got one thing in news. Usually I get a couple more. This is interesting. So Baidu, the
Erica?
Chinese search engine, is suing Register.com. Recently, some Iranian web hijackers. I would say terrorists, but I have no idea if they have terrorist intentions. They were just, they just hijacked a website. They hijacked the largest Chinese search engine and defaced their website for a couple of hours.
Like they bought the name?
No. So what they ended up doing. So this is, I don't know if you know, like classic computer hacking. Often has more to do with.
I really don't. I
don't even know where you're going. And the answer is no. So classic hacking often has a lot more to do with I forget what the term is, but it's like people hacking. So picking up the phone and somehow getting into, I don't know, say you want to hack IBM. So you get into IBM and you get in as a cleaner. Not like a killer cleaner, but like a sweeper and the floor cleaner. Mm-hmm. And you just end up in an office and you pick up the phone and you dial IT support. You're a hacker, so you already know that. And you call and you say, hey, I forgot my password. Right? So that social engineering is what they call it. So social engineering hacking. So they end up, just cajoling or being in the right place or giving the right pretense or, speaking with authority. I'm the CEO. I need my damn password now. What? I can't. That's against policy. Now. Did I say now? Do you want your job in the morning? Don't script that because we don't need that. Anyway, so that's what the Iranian hackers did. They called up Register.com and without giving the proper credentials, the Register.com assistant or whatever the representative of Register.com actually changed the email address associated with the Baidu.com or Baidu whatever website. So now they had access to it and they redirected it and hacked it.
That's crazy. You know what? I'd probably say that Register.com I assume is based in the U.S. Yeah. And I assume that the person that was on the phone has no idea what Baidu.com was, because most people that I know don't know what it was.
Right.
I didn't know until about 6 months ago when I think we asked the question, what's the number 2 search engine in the world, and it was Baidu.
Yeah.
Because it was based in Asia, which obviously has billions and billions more people than everywhere else.
Did you ever used to watch? I'm gonna try and remember his name. He was a wacky British guy, late night TV. Benny Hill.
I've heard the name.
Yeah, Benny Hill. He always he had this joke. He's like, once upon a time there were 2 Chinese men. Now look how many there are.
Is he like the religious, like a spiritual speaker, like a religious guy?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Whatever you're going.
I made that
up. No, he was like the British pervert on TV, and he had a little skinny kid, and he was always tapping the little skinny sidekick on the head, and they had this na 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 music going on. It was it's good. Look it up. I'm sure there's got to be on YouTube now, Benny Hill. And maybe Darren Bowie out there. That's
right. What isn't on YouTube these days?
Yeah. I don't know. Where are my links at? Where are my links? This is just going through my head. If you guys haven't checked out the Swagger Wagon Toyota video, go check it out. It's just killer, awesome, and cool. And a while back, we were like kind of trying to figure out where our links on Google went. And in my head, all I have is, if you've listened to Swagger Wagon, where are my links at? Except we don't get the answer, in the video. They get the answer. I don't know.
Google's like, we have your links, and shut up.
Nanny, boo, boo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, the interesting thing about that Baidu case is that the U.S. judge says there's enough evidence to allow it to proceed, right? So Baidu has brought enough, and it's gross negligence. What's the value? Well, I don't know. What would be the value of shutting down Google for 2 hours? That's some serious dough. Dough. Just take whatever the $32 billion a year and divide by.
So whoever did that got fired.
Yeah.
Probably quickly. Yeah. And it kind of sucks for them because they probably had no idea what Baidu was and how big it is because most people
and they just didn't follow the policies. And again, there's been times when I've been on the phone answering those questions and they've given me kind of enough hints, whatever, so you end up,
you work your way around it.
You feel like you've worked your way around it. And we've worked around technical issues before. We've done some social engineering where we had to. Because we're cleaner upper sometimes when it comes to websites. All right, so what else do we got? Darren Bowie accepted the challenge. We got Google Local Places coming up. And we got a couple tools that we want to talk about.
Yes. I find some really cool tools that I'm ready to share with you guys.
All right, so rock, paper, scissors. Who goes first?
Let's go with Google Places.
Okay, Google Places. All right, that's you. You just wanted to go first, huh?
Oh, I don't know. That's one thing that came to mind. Okay, I found something on Google Places, right? So we got a new account. We're setting up. We always set up Google Places / Google Local Listings, whatever, Google Maps.
Google
whatever.
Local Places.
Yeah. And now this client runs a couple different businesses out of the same address. So I'm setting up their places listing. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go back and listen to it. It's very important. Make sure your listing is 100%. And I get there's a PIN verification. When you submit your listing, they're going to verify that it's really you that's trying to submit this listing. So they're going to either, they will opt to call you and or send you a postcard. Sometimes they'll only give you one option. That is okay. It just depends on a few different variables. I thought it was something wrong with me. So,
yeah, I think the lighting. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just excited.
Working?
I think the lighting's looking pretty good.
Yeah, you can actually see my face now, and I'm not just like this dark blob with teeth.
Well, you're shaded on the other side, so we'll have to. Sorry to interrupt.
We'll work on that.
We'll get our lighting better.
So, here's one thing that I found out. It took me. I was working on this. I was getting all these different issues, and the bottom line, it boils down to, you can only have one business listing per address per phone number. And that's what it was. So I know if you've had this issue with your listing, say you enter in all your information, says verify your listing, you click to verify the listing, and maybe it might give you it'll say needs review or needs attention or needs action. That's what it says, needs action or being reviewed. Sometimes it'll say, hey, click to verify. It'll give you the PIN number. You'll go back to your listing. There won't be a spot for you to actually enter the PIN number. This has been a big problem, not just in the United States, but worldwide. It typically means there's an issue with your listing. Here's what sucks about this. There is no support. There is no person that sits there you can call and you can submit it to the Google Help Forum. They'll say, we'll take this into consideration when when looking at issues.
When they have their next big meeting about what is the direction of Google.
But they're not going to reply to you. They're not going to do anything. So you can submit if you have any issues about Google Places, you can submit to the forum, and there are Google employees who will comment on some of them, not all of them. So if you ran into that issue, make sure that your listing, and I think I may have said this correct, the only thing I'm sure about is addresses. You can only have one business listing per address.
Is it address and phone number combination, or do you know?
I said the combo. I'm not confident about the phone number.
So just the address.
Just the address. I'm confident about if you have more than one listing.
Suite numbers do matter. Is that?
I tried to switch it on one of our clients, and I haven't gotten a response yet from the actual Google Places site. It just still says being reviewed.
Okay.
So if you have a business and you have running two businesses out of the same location, maybe try to switch the suite number or do suite 1A and suite 1B. But if they are the same, you're going to run into Google Local Places, whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to run into issues with that.
And there's a lot of value. Frankly, with us, there's not that much because currently when you do SEO searches, it doesn't pull up Google Local Listings.
Yes.
So the other business that is listed with us is something that people would look for.
Yes, that
and
is
actually,
true.
we've been getting calls for that, so it'd be interesting to double check if that is still showing up. I mean, what is under reviewed? Does under review mean that it doesn't come up at all, or?
That's a good question because I hadn't thought about that.
Because Patrick has gotten calls, and
yes, he has,
and we've seen him in local listings before. So I don't know how new this policy is or whatever.
Yeah, and also if people are searching for you by name, I think it could affect whether your local listing appears. Because if you search for someone by name and they have that local listing, a little map will come up with that. So I need to double check and see because I'm not sure if it'll affect that listing.
But we just bring these things up. We haven't fully flushed this out. We're still working on it, and there's a lot of questions and nuances to it. But just so that you guys are aware of it, if you're running the same business out of the same place, that wouldn't be a problem. If you're running two businesses out of the same place and you're trying to get Google Local Listings, keep after it. Follow the process. And if you come with a solution, email it to us.
Yes,
We'd be happy to
please.
share it because
We're going through the same thing
Yeah.
with some of our clients, trying to figure out what's the best way to approach it. Delete one, change suite numbers, and if you just had any issues with Google Places, let us know. We may have some of the same things.
Yep. I wanted to mention this because I had to do a little bit of this work this week. We've talked about 301 redirects, and I had to do this on the HTC Access level this week for one of our clients, for one of our new clients. We do not. We typically work on Windows boxes, so HT Access is not available as a method. You've got to use other things, ASP code. There's lots of easy ways to go around it. HT Access has a lot of advantages. And so I went in there and made sure there's two things to look out for. One is that totally drawing a blank. If you're and the way I found this is interesting. I went into the existing stats of our existing client, not Google Analytics, but existing stats, and it had traffic arriving at www.a&b and A&B. Right, so without the www, Google will see those as different pages. Links going to those different pages will actually be split apart. Your Google Juice is split apart. So what you want to do is make sure that if somebody doesn't type the www, force them to go to it, or the opposite, if they do type the www, force them to not go to it. And there's little scripts out there that are readily available. I don't do HTC Access, so I'm not an HT Access programmer, not HTC. HT Access, that's just my phone.
You said that yesterday, and I was like, HTC has like some access program.
Yeah.
So like I was lost until you just started explaining about it now. So that was like 24 hours. I had no idea what you were talking about.
So you want to make that a point to the other. You can find that script out online. The other thing that you want to be careful of is when you type in a website, ANB.com. Is typically the index page. It can also be referenced, and usually is referenced from other pages when you click the home site as anb.com/index.asp, index.php, index.html, whatever one of those it is, or multiples. And again, that's Google sees anb.com and anb.com/index whatever as different pages, so you can be splitting your Google Juice. So there's a script out there
now if I had to wild guess, I'd say that when people are linking to you, they're probably going to link to your anb.com before your anb index.
Anb.com index. Yeah. But
so what should and I know we talked about this week about is this like a redirect issue?
It is a redirect. Yeah, that's what we're doing. It's a 301 permanent redirect. So all Google Juice from one page goes to the other, so that's a great aspect of it when Google comes back. And, it's transparent to the user. They don't really see it. They're like, okay, well, how many people look in the address bar? We do, because that's what we do. Yeah. But a lot of people will type, if they type www.anb.com and glance at their address bar and all of a sudden the www dot disappears, they're not going to notice that. And if they do, they because they're just the fact that they're glancing there, they know what's going on.
So here's a question because I don't know the answer.
Okay.
What is it best to redirect to? Is it best
one page?
Okay. Do you redirect to the page with the most Google Juice?
The Google Juice is going to get transferred. So, and there's really not any easy way to figure Google Juice if you know what I'm saying. Now that's a great question though. If you spend a lot of time building inbound links, and those inbound links are to www.anb.com, don't make the decision to get rid of the www, right? And vice versa. Now, if they're evenly split, it doesn't really matter. Google's going to pass the juice. What you do end up with is those other links in other places are probably always going to be the way they are, unless you call them and ask them to redirect them or email them. You don't even need to bother with that because the Google Juice is passed on to the final target page. So there's a lot of value in that. So make sure you take care of that. It's one of the things that we took care of. It was a recent SEO client, and we got in there and quickly recognized that we needed to make sure that the 301 redirects were done properly. So
now, what's the redirect that Google doesn't like?
So you can just in code you can just redirect a page, and there's in ASP code you can redirect a page without an error code. In PHP you can redirect a page without an error code. And in HTML, you can get to the browser and then have the browser redirect those 3 forms do not pass on Google Juice, and Google doesn't like those. Typically, if your page refreshes, it doesn't like to index that page, and I'm not exactly sure how it handles if it does go to the next page and indexes it. It probably does, just as a regular course, but any Google Juice going to that first page is just ignored when it gets to the target page. So you definitely want to do 301 redirect.
301 is the good kind of redirect.
Yes.
That they want to see. Okay.
And 301 refers to the error code. Have you ever typed in something and you got a 404?
Yeah.
That's a web-based error code. 301 is another type of error code.
Web-based.
Hey, wrong page, go over there.
Go over here. Okay, that's cool. I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so that's something that we did this week that I want to mention. Also, we read a review last week. I just got to read this again because I actually read it in one of my networking meetings. I find myself laughing out loud in the car and using my memo feature to capture some of the suggestions. I mean, does that sum up like the
That's
feel?
cool. Now I need to have some jokes.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, somebody says if you can, he also talks, if you listen from the beginning, you can see these guys grow in sophistication. That's, wow, what a compliment. And understand the running jokes. Because, we got the Geno time limit and
and if we start talking about being a douche, like, and you're on podcast number 5, you probably wouldn't understand what that means.
Yeah. It's important.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Look up
Very
the
cool.
douche
Don't be a
podcast. So he posted a review on iTunes. Is Corey Mazelski, and I didn't click the more. So he's actually chief geek for funwatercraft.com.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Chief geek.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that like
That's awesome. Oh, that's cool.
CGIC, chief geek in charge?
I hope that's on your business card. Oh, that's awesome.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. And Fun Watercraft looks like a blast. They've got, I think they're like the bicycles. You can actually ride bicycles on the water.
On the water?
And then they've got some other things with big tubes that are rolling in the water. It looks like
that's pretty sweet.
Fun. Yeah. So, hey, we get to actually give some link love. That is funwatercraft.com. Go check them out. It's pretty cool.
Was that hardcore? That
Yeah, it was iHardcore. Yeah.
That's what's up, iHardcore.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, man. We
Very
appreciate
cool.
that.
We do. What do you got?
Okay, I found a tool. Well, here it is. I found an article that I thought was really cool, and it had a tool on it, and I want to give this guy a lot of credit because I thought it was awesome. Now, I'm going to butcher this name.
Yoav?
Yoav?
Yoav.
Y-O-A-V? Ezer?
Ezer.
Ezer?
I'm going to go with Ezer.
His last name is E-Z-E-R. So I'm going to call him Yo. So what's up, Yo?
Don't we have another Yo?
I don't know if we had another
I
Yo.
thought we had a,
Sorry.
no, we had a Joe. Joe.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm butchering everybody's name. Don't forget.
We just lost half our users.
I know.
Listeners.
So Yo came up. I found him on Search Engine People, and I didn't write down the URL because it was super long. But the title of this blog is How to Perform SEO Competitor Research with Excel. If you Google that, How to Perform SEO Competitor Research with Excel, the very first thing that comes up is his article. And I found it. It was an awesome article. I'm actually going to respond on your blog and let you know that we talked about this on the podcast. And he basically talks about SEO as part of your job. If you're doing SEO, it's important for you to do the SEO for your website or with your clients. But it's also important for you to look at their competitors to know who's there. Who's new that just came into the market or to the online market, and
who just bumped you down.
There you go.
Who you just passed.
There you go. And you can get we do this. We can get tips from competitors. Oh, maybe he's doing this. We need to focus on this. This is a good idea. Oh, that's a bad idea. And so it's good to know what other people are doing. And he came up with this really simple tool that will tell you what's happening. So if you go to the article and you scroll through it, he says how to use it. You can download an Excel spreadsheet. This Excel spreadsheet will actually reference Google search results and display them for you, on an Excel spreadsheet. So, and he tells you how to use it. You enter in, somebody said it in a fax. That's what that ringing is.
Maybe that's Yoav telling us how to say his name.
You enter in your website, your competitor's website, and then a couple keywords, and then it will search the keywords and it will populate a list of your competitors, and it will tell you where you are in comparison to them. I thought this was an awesome tool. I wish I would have printed something out so I could show it to you. But look at it and download it. I thought it was awesome. Yo, I give you a lot of credit for this. But and this is important. This is very, very, I mean, I can't explain how important it is to know what else is happening in your industry. You need to keep abreast of who's ahead of you, who's below you, and to me, I think this is very important. Who's new, who just came into the market, because that's you. If you're doing some SEO, if you're just starting on a website, you're going to be one of the new guys coming into the market, and people are going to be watching you. So it's important to find out what other people are doing on the SEO. Yo, this was an awesome tool. Now, everybody, I've only played with this sucker for this morning, so I'll be honest. So I haven't actually fully tested it, and I'll probably give another review of it maybe next week. But I felt like it's an awesome tool.
And it's fast. It's lightning fast.
It is lightning fast.
Now, it being lightning fast, it does draw some concern. Some of the software, most of the software that we use here, will do searches and have delays because Google, if it sees rapid fire searches of its search engine, will sometimes ban IP addresses. That is the concern. I've never actually heard of it happening. In fact, if anybody's out there who's had that happen to them, let us know. Google is really does keep an eye on things that look like automated, which that would clearly look automated. Although for each keyword, it's only one search, right? Yeah, and then he just orders the ones that are ahead of you and the ones that are behind you. So don't worry about that unless you've got thousands of keywords that you want this analysis for. Then you're going to have some. You can potentially have the software rapid firing to Google. So we can maybe when you send a comment to Yo, ask him if he's addressed that or if that's in concern.
I will. Yo, so I'm going to ask you, Yo, if you're listening or weeks later after I tell you that I'm going to record this and put it on my podcast, if you're listening, let me know. I'm going to respond to you anyway. But it was an awesome article. And now I can't show you the search results, but here's kind of how it works. What it does is you put your website in, like I said before, your competitor's website. You enter in a couple keywords. Now, what it will do is it'll give you a list, not only of the competitor that you put in, but it will give you a list of competitors. And it'll say, for these 4 or 5, however many, let's say you enter in 4 words, and they return 10 competitors. The one at the top, let's say it's, AandB.com, will have above me, there's 2 columns. It'll have the competitors, above me, then below me. And above me and below me, it'll have a number. So let's say A and B was your competitor, and in the above column, it has number 4. What that means is for the 4 keywords that you typed in,
A and B was above you on all of them.
All 4 of them. And ABC.com is the next one, and let's say it has 2. That means that 2 of those words, it is above you. So it's a good way to really, and it ranks them, in order of importance. This guy has 10 spots above you, and the guy at the bottom has 1 spot above you. So that way you can really know, it'll tell you, hey, A and B has got 10 spots above me. Maybe we need to take a really good look at them because for all the keywords that are important to me, this guy's knocking it out of the park. Just a quick, simple tool among the millions tons of tools that we talk about. I thought this one was definitely worth mentioning. I'm going to play around with it a little bit and I'll hopefully give you more next week.
We have a listener in St. Croix, right? I mentioned that, right?
That's what's up,
okay,
St. Croix.
Cool. St. Croix.
I think that's awesome, though.
Send us a picture.
I really want to see.
That's a great idea.
Don't send me a picture of you, like your feet, and like your laptop on your lap with your feet hanging out, and like a Corona, like the Corona commercials. Yeah, no. Don't send that kind of picture, because I know it's really nice down there, and I don't want to see you doing SEO on the beach.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
Okay,
real quick, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Dude, why are we even here, man? We need to move this operation in St. Croix. Do we have time?
Is there any good? Yeah, we got about 5 more. Yeah, hey, the listener in St. Croix, if there's any good properties you know of that have high-speed internet access,
yeah, holler at us, because that would be awesome. Yo had another tool that I thought was really cool. I found one, and I was messing around with his blog, and then I found some more tools that he had. Another Excel. It's titled How to Automatically Track Your Google Positions in Microsoft Excel. If you Google that, how to automatically track your Google positions in Microsoft Excel, it'll be the first thing that comes up. Yo is what I'm gonna call another one. It's a spreadsheet. You download it. And it's the exact same concept. You enter in your website. There's some preloaded dates in there. Clear the dates, and it'll tell you. You enter in a couple search terms, and then it will tell you what position you have on this particular date. It only runs one date, so I ran it today, and I did one keyword, one date.
How do you use it? Control something to run it, or
Control
Shift U?
Control Shift U, and it'll automatically pull the search results off the search engine. Another tool, and he goes and explains how it works, the macro code, which I have absolutely no interest. I mean, Chris probably would want to read that.
I do.
I have no interest in that. I don't even
understand. That sounded so kind. Chris would probably want to read that crap.
I mean, I don't know. It's like, I mean, dude, this is like ones and zeros. Like, I don't even understand that. Like, I think it's very cool. I give up my hat. I tip my hat to this guy and to anyone that understands
cool tool.
how this works, because I don't. I'm just like, awesome, it works. But it's cool, and I'm sure you'll be able to make it work better or something. But these are two awesome tools that I thought, and it will, for this last tool, you enter in a couple different search terms, and it will run those terms and figure out where you are on that site. We use other software to do this exact same thing. What do we use?
Advanced web ranking.
Advanced web ranking to do it. This is just another quick, fast, easy way. If I want to know something quick, I don't think we're going to go away from advanced web ranking, but I just thought this was cool.
We use it to augment, and web ranking has cost. This doesn't. So if you're doing SEO on a shoestring, this may be something that you can use.
This was free. I thought this was cool. I have a question for this guy. Excuse me. I just answered by looking at it. Wait. The title was Track Your Google Position. So this only does Google.
Right.
Okay. Advanced Web Ranking does Yahoo and Bing.
Also known as Bing.
Bing. Yeah. So we're still going to use that. Let's listen to this like
these guys are
dorks.
And we agree. We are a bunch of dorks. We are the hosts of the most popular SEO podcast on iTunes. Do you have any more?
That's it, man.
Excellent.
Check those out. If you have any questions, send us an email at
podcast@e-webstyle.com.
Because I didn't even know. Like,
you just the email works.
Support at e-webstyle.
That would probably give me. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't even know.
Paul needs help at e-webstyle. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. 9:15 Central Standard Time next Thursday, not next Friday. So if you're tuning in, plan on tuning in on Thursday. I do tweet about it right before we broadcast. So if you follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/ewebstyle. There's no dash in that, ewebstyle. Until the next podcast, this is the end of podcast number 68. We really appreciate you listening. My name is Chris Burris.
And I'm Paul Hansen.
Bye-bye for now.